everyone, so for today's video I wanted to do a weight loss diary. It has been a really long time since I've consistently uploaded weight loss diary videos. I've thought about this video for probably about a month now because I knew I wanted to start filming them again. I really didn't feel like I was ready to film them again in terms of like being able to film them consistently. To be perfectly honest, I have really been feeling down about this whole kind of process or part of my life. If you're new and you don't know what this is all about, I started doing weight loss diaries in like September 2016. And basically what it is like me tracking my weight progress. Just kind of, sometimes I have like topics I talk about, I update you with my weight, and I have like progression pictures as well and all things like that. I will link down below my introduction video and my first kind of like initial weight video with my first pictures. So I've been thinking about this video, and I had actually like kind of planned out in my head what I was going to say, what I was going to talk about. And when I started actually thinking about filming it, I realised that it almost sounded like I was just going to sit there and just talk for probably about an hour and give excuses as to why I haven't been filming them, why I have not lost any weight, and my weight has fluctuated so much in the last like 6 months. And I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. I feel like, you know, I could do that every single time I don't film a video for a couple of months, and I'm just, it's pointless, you know. It's just kind of, a part of it is just life, you know. My life has been all over the place for a few months now, and obviously like with the wedding and everything like that, it was very stressful. For the first time in years, my life has now got a very consistent routine, you know, all week, and I feel like it is making a massive difference in terms of like how I feel, and like helping me kind of prioritize things, and, you know, focus my attention like on different things and all kinds of stuff like that. So I really want to get back into doing these videos again, because not only do I know it helps out a lot of people, and I got a lot of messages and a lot of comments, really nice ones, about how these videos were very helpful, and the support I received as well was a massive motivation. And that's the thing, these for me are like a very big motivation to, you know, do something about it. So I just want to get back into doing them. I don't want to sit here and talk about the last couple of months, because it's, you know, it's not going to change anything. My weight is what it is, and talking about it and giving excuses for it is just not worth it. There's been a couple of things that I feel like have happened recently that have really like got to me. I feel like I hide it quite well from people, but I have really been down about my weight recently, and I've been very emotional about it, and there have been a lot of times when I've just sat there and kind of thought, you know, I'm never gonna look how I want to look, I'm never gonna look like these, you know, girls you see on TV or on social media. And it's quite a scary thing that, you know, there is so many people out there that do post like photoshopped pictures, or, you know, people that post pictures with certain angles, and you kind of sit there and think, you know, I'm never going to look like that. There's a lot of things that could be going on in these people's lives and the way they do things, and you just don't know them. You only, you know what you see on social media, and it's so easy to kind of pin yourself up against these people. I was recently watching some videos with my sister. She was putting some videos on her laptop of Brooke when she was little, and I was obviously in a lot of the videos, and I looked at myself in these videos, and it was honestly like, oh my, like I didn't even recognise myself. I couldn't believe like how big I was, and it was really upsetting to see that. It was quite scary to see that, because at that time, you know, I've always been upset about my weight, but I've never looked at myself and actually thought that is what I look like. And, you know, my sister made a comment of, you know, you've lost a lot of weight since then, but even now I'd still, you know, think that I'm not that much far off that. I don't know how much I weighed then, but you know, it wasn't that long ago. Noticing myself feeling a lot more like self-conscious, and it's horrible. It's an absolute horrible feeling to dread, you know, the warmer months when people are going to be wearing like shorts and like short sleeve tops, and I feel like I can't dress like that. I have been feeling really down, and I feel like I go from one extreme to the other. So I'm either trying to convince myself like, oh, you're not that bad, it's fine, like, you know, don't worry about it, and then the next day I'll be like really upset and crying and saying to John that, you know, I really don't want to feel like this anymore, I really can't take it anymore. And rather than thinking like that, I need to if I focused as much energy on feeling bad as I did, you know, focus that energy on actually making changes, within 6 months I could make some huge changes in my life. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show my pictures, I'm going to talk about my weight, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what my kind of plans are. So I will do my weight first. I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to have like a box here with my like start weight, my current weight, and how much weight I want to lose, with just a little bit more information. I'll have everything in stone, pounds and kilograms as well, just for those of you who do measure in different things. I'll also always have my height as well, because that's a very important thing to consider. Even though you might be a 25-year-old woman, that doesn't necessarily mean that your weight should be the same as mine. Anyway, so on the 3rd of September in 2016, I was 13 stone, 4 pounds and 4 ounces. I weighed myself this morning on the 23rd of February, and I was 12 stone, 10 pounds and 4 ounces. That is only half a stone less than what I was when I started this a year and a half ago. To me, like, I'm so disappointed in myself. The progress I could have made in a year and a half could have been huge. But like I said, there's no point in you know, thinking about it like that too much, because there's nothing I can do about that. So I'll quickly show you the pictures now. I will compare them to my initial pictures, and I will just kind of put them to the side just while I'm talking. Another thing that I feel like I noticed with me is that I've always had a smaller waist, not a small waist, but I've always had, my waist is always smaller. So no matter how much weight I put on, I always tend to go in at the waist. And as soon as I start losing weight, my waist naturally just goes like that. That's just what my body shape is like. So I feel like for me, it's always that thing of, makes me feel almost too good. And I'm not saying you shouldn't feel good about yourself when, you know, you're trying to lose weight, but for me, I do need to put a little bit of pressure on myself to continue to do it. That's just the way I am. Obviously that kind of mindset's not going to work for everybody, and you have to be careful how much pressure you put on yourself. But for me, I feel like if I give myself too much praise, I'll start rewarding myself with food, and that is how I end up, you know, back to where I am now, which is exactly what I want to avoid. So, and I feel like the reason that my waist does do that is more so because I have wider hips. I naturally have like wider hips and a bigger bum. That's just kind of what I've always been like. I would probably say, like, I'm not necessarily bottom heavy, but I'd say maybe it's like 45% top and 55% bottom. So it's just slightly more bottom heavy, which just, I feel like, gives me that kind of wider hip already. This is obviously losing weight, eating healthy, exercising regularly is all something that takes a lot of, you know, drive, a lot of motivation, a lot of consistency, and sometimes a lot of like trial and errors. There's not going to be one quick solution that's going to work for everybody. You know, you have to make sure that you're losing weight safely and you're sticking to a method that you can stick to for a very long time. It's also something that, you know, you want to be able to, you shouldn't see it as a diet, you should see it as like a lifestyle change, because obviously if you see it as a diet, generally you diet for a certain amount of time, and then at the end of that it's like, okay, what do you do now? You can't just eat the food again and put the weight back on. there has to be like a maintenance to it. I feel like I want to kind of take steps again. When I initially started this, when it was going really well, I kind of took it a week at a time. I spent a week on sorting out my like eating habits, and you know, I was tracking calories, but that was it. I wasn't doing macros, I was just doing calories, and it worked. Then I was paying a bit more attention to macros and, you know, playing around a bit with how much fat I was having, how much carbs I was having, how much protein I was having, and seeing what worked best for me. Even though I have obviously done this before and I did lose, you know, a considerable amount of weight, I can't just go back and just follow it, because obviously I've put the weight back on. So for me, I feel like, right, I need to kind of look at it as something new and try something that works for me. So I'm just going to focus a lot more on eating. I do eat different things now than what I did back then. I feel like because I have actually lost 2.5 pounds this week, because I did start kind of thinking about this last week, but I wanted to give myself a chance to kind of get back into it. And when I weighed myself last week, I was dead on 13 stone. And for me, again, that was another kind of shock, because I haven't gone up to 13 stone in a very, very, very long time. You know, I wanted to really quickly get myself away from 13 stone, give myself a little bit of a head start, and really kind of focus on doing that. And I'm very happy with the fact that I lost 2.5 pounds this week. I didn't really tell anybody I was doing it. I've been to the gym twice this week as well, and I felt like I had some pretty good sessions. I've definitely been feeling a lot more emotional, and I do think that is also because I seem to have like hormonal issues that seem to be massively affected by my weight. And this is something that I have been suffering from for probably about 2.5 years now. And any time I've lost weight, I do notice that they get better. Whereas the heavier I seem to be, the more drastic my issues seem to be, to the point where I am physically being sick at certain times of the month. And I think that is due to the fact that obviously, you know, I'm not healthy. So yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if there's any like topics you want me to talk about, then just leave them in the comment section down below. I'm sorry this has been a little bit rambly, but as I said, you know, this video has been on my mind for quite some time, and like I really wanted to film it, but I have felt a little bit all over the place. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, bye!